This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by BTC, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, the Cleveland Clinic, Dunkin' Donuts, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, Joker's Wild, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, Rise Bahamas, Scotiabank, and Tropical Gyros.
The Monday, April 18th edition. The Tuesday, April 18th edition of Talking Heads is on and popping. Your boy Naughty in your company right up until 6 p.m. Got a fully loaded show for you today. All right, I got several special guests coming up. Of course, my first guest, we'll get to him in short order, right out of the break. I'm going to, have a great conversation. I'm glad to have him on board today. Mr. Vaughn Roberts, the Senior Vice President of Government Affairs and Special Projects for the Atlantis. We're going to talk everything that's going on over there at the beautiful Atlantis, and, of course, that big RCI project. We got to make sure to take care, of everything. As we grow, we need to do it, maturely, and we need to do it, proactively rather than reactively. All right? But that's going to be a great conversation. Then, of course, second half of the first hour, we will be going to Grand Bahama, the Freeport Report. As you know, each and every Tuesday, get your news from the, Grand Bahama News supplement in The Guardian each and every Tuesday. We'll be talking to Sharon Kirkby and, of course, Darren Cooper down there in Freeport. We'll be chopping it up with them. So coming up as well. And then 5 o'clock, we'll be talking sports with Pearlie. All right? Pearlie will be in the building. And, of course, you know how to chime in. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Those are the phone lines. Chime on in. And, of course, toll-free, Grand Bahama and any one of the family islands, toll-free, 242-300-5720. 242-300-5720. Stream us live. Take us wherever you want to go. GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. Cable channel 969. BTC Flow channel 612. That's how you get it in. That's how you get it on. All right. Yeah, we got a teaser. Y'all calm down. Dear God. I tell you, I always brag about y'all, that y'all are the biggest and best fan base in the world, but you always be stressing the biggest sometimes, Relax yourself. Slow your roll. Allow me to do my due diligence, take care of the protocols. It's like a plane when you fly, you got to do certain checklists. You know what I mean? If you take off and fly, and I'll be up and flying. Keep your seatbelt on. I'll get your teaser, and then we get to our guest. Okay? And I could see, boy, look here, same set of texts every day. Y'all my teaser Joneses, boy. I tell you, y'all my teaser junkies. I just love a teaser. My God. All right. You know what you're playing for? Jokers Wild Party Passes. Dunkin' Donuts coupons, KFC coupons, lunch or dinner your choice from Muddy Johnny. And remember, KFC, it's Tuesday, Crazy Tuesday, 5 pieces of chicken, $10. Get original, vote.kfcnassau.com and rock the vote for original. Heard it from me. Do that. Thank you. All right. Here we go. Boy. I wouldn't even go there today. That might set off the wrong conversation in the car for some of y'all. So, all right. Okay, all right. Recent survey of 100 Bahamians, 50 men, 50 women. Survey revealed that out of the survey, 40% of the men and 51% of the women have almost gotten into an accident because they were distracted doing this while driving. What is it? That's your brain teaser. You got between now and the top of the news in the 5 o'clock hour to get your answers in and get your answers on. All right? Oh, God. I don't know why people would text me these pictures from back in the day. Dear God. While I'm on air, I know exactly why you did this. To go ask me bust out laughing? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Is that a Joey Jam sighting? Stop the madness. My God. A lot of history right there. Thank you for texting me in the middle of my show. I will definitely get to these momentarily. All right. So, got all the particulars out of the way. Now we need to have this good conversation. We had Toby Smith on the show a couple of weeks ago. We already heard his perspective and his standpoint from the whole RCI project on Paradise Island. But, some up is very near and dear to my heart for over the last at least 30 years, at least maybe 32 years of my life. It's the beautiful Atlantis. From when it was Merv Griffin Resort, when it became the initial phases of the Atlantis to what it is today. And I've been blessed and lucky enough to call it home for 25 years at the Jokers Wild Comedy Club. And I've had a ton of opportunities, spin-off-wise, just because I was there, just because I was at the Atlantis and what they were doing. And it's an awesome product. It's been an awesome product to today. And it's still rivaled, as you know, and can clearly easily be touted as the jewel of this region. So much so that they made a replica in Dubai. That's a different story for another day. But when you see other projects coming, obviously we welcome them. But obviously they need to do their due diligence. And there's been a lot of noise in the market, a lot of talk, and on social media, it gets crazy. It gets way out of hand. Because obviously you got your spin doctors, you got your conspiracy theories. So to get to the bottom of it, I got my good friend, and I'm glad to have to bring us up to snuff as to exactly what's going on with everything over there at the Atlantis. Mr. Vaughn Roberts, Senior Vice President of Government Affairs and Special Projects. I'd like to welcome him to the show right now. Vaughn, how are you, man? Welcome to Talking Heads.
Naughty, I'm doing very well. Good to be on the show. Good afternoon, Bahamas and listeners.
And glad to have you. And my brother, bring me up to snuff. Where are we at today on April 18th, Tuesday, April 18th, in relation to as far as the Atlantis? Obviously, for the last couple of weeks, I've seen awesome bookings. Looks like it's sold out across the board. A huge number of groups. We've seen the effects at Jokers, you know what I mean? Some great nights, great audiences. And it's obviously, when you've been there long enough, when the place is full. So obviously, Atlanta seems to be doing very, very well right now. So that's awesome to know.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, the destination as a whole, the Bahamas has rebounded really well coming out of COVID. The end of 2020 was very strong for all of the major properties here, and obviously the cruise business as well. And then this year so far, we're breaking. Very excited about that. Mostly driven, obviously, by people paying more for the room and spending more when they get here. So some of it is inflationary, but there's no denying that the destination is hot again. The Bahamas, with Atlantis, Baha Mar, the cruise port, Albany, all these things have really contributed to us being on fire, I think.
And I mean, obviously, you guys have been a big part of it for the last 15 to 20 years. I mean, a major part of it. But now we have this new opportunity on Paradise Island with the RCI project, and you guys made recently about it. Where are we at in relation to that? Because as far as I'm concerned, yes, we welcome, investment opportunities, but it has to be done correctly. As the Atlantis had to go through protocols and Bahama and other resorts, I think this project needs to go through the full protocols because we're dealing with Paradise Island. I mean, this is the world-renowned Paradise Island, home of the Atlantis. You know what I mean? Home of the Cove.
Absolutely.
Home of the Cove.
We stand proudly on that history. It's been billions of dollars of investment. We're celebrating 25 years of the Royal this year, the Royal Tower, which incidentally is 25 of the 50 years of the independence of the Bahamas. Atlantis has been, without a doubt, a very good partner for the Bahamas and a very good investment in the Bahamas. And I think we've all lived the benefit from it. Even me now working for Atlantis, and so I think. It's without refute the impact that Atlantis has had, and we'll share more of that over the course of the year. But and we stand proud on that, and we think that obviously we're pro development. We're also under Curzon was a master developer for Paradise Island, so the Paradise Island that we know today came about through the vision of Saul Curzon and Atlantis, and so. We also we honor that role. And it has a certain responsibility. So as soon as we got word of Royal Caribbean's proposed project, we paid very close attention to it back in 2020. And I think they've gone through a number of iterations with it, but clearly the project had been controversial right from the very beginning, right? Crown leveraged to create a private excursion experience for a specific cruise passenger and its guests. Right in the capital of the Bahamas, right? It's unfathomable that we as Bahamians can't create experiences in sufficient quantities to satisfy the customer, to tourists coming to the Bahamas. I mean, it's just, it's right in the capital city.
I've always thought that more Bahamians should have been given an opportunity to get a stake in that game because, if you look at Vegas, Las Vegas is the model. You have a lot of private business owners that have built up great businesses around that whole Las Vegas Strip, the new Strip, and the old Fremont Street Strip. And I think a lot of potential could be with Bay Street, with the new cruise development downtown. You got the element to have like a kind of Fremont Street kind of vibe with the old portion of Bay Street. You have two major resorts in the capital. There's a lot of opportunity, but we can't be cut out of the market.
We can't be cut out of the market, and we frankly, I think we have to be allowed to create it. So we're already seeing in New Providence, we're already seeing a growth in number of excursions and small businesses that are doing tourism-related things, taking off in the capital as well, where people are coming and staying all over, really, in New Providence.
Yeah, and when you say all over.
Yeah, so I think that we're seeing some organic growth and entrepreneurship, right, from our people, the Bahamians. But this is saying, look, we have no confidence in your ability to create experiences. Our guests say it's the lowest rated stop on the journey, and we want to go and create a private experience that we can deliver, we can innovate to take the guests directly there. So it's interesting. But for Atlantis, we are really just concerned around the environmental risks that we see with this project.
I look at it. I have concern because obviously I feel a resort, such as yourself and indirectly Bahama as well, should have a stake in that opportunity to give those cruise ship passengers an experience. And it's hard for a lot of people to convince me different because I'm a cruise ship brat. I grew up on the Emerald Seas. My dad was the captain, so I know the workings of the cruise ship industry. You know what I mean? So there's enough to go around because back in the day, taken care of. The Paradise Island properties were taken care of. The Cable Beach Strip was taken care of. So why can't we recreate that today so we get more of that tourist dollar? Because, if there's no experience, we can't make the tourist dollar.
Yeah, that's an important question. I mean, and for Atlantis, it's not about competition, right? We really cannot take 3,000 at Royal Caribbean cruise passengers at Atlantis every day.
Correct.
We would be underwater with guest comments from our guests.
And Vaughn, I'm glad you made that point because I had a heated debate in the barbershop pertaining to that the other day. Listen, Atlantis is built for competition, but you can't have 3,000 people every day. And they don't want them. It's just have the fair
No,
stake to get a
no,
portion.
no. And when we have a difficult time managing the cruise passengers that we get today, just drop off at
But
the resort.
Even you know how many people, like you say, will walk up just because they want the Atlantis experience. They've heard about it, they've read about it, they've seen commercials while I'm here. And a lot of people still think that, that's part of their vacation when they get here. I got to go have a drink over there. I got to hit the pools. I got to take a picture.
And get the photo for their Instagram.
Exactly.
So yeah, but I mean, to be clear, we are really just focused on the environmental risks that the project proposes, and we've been quite open with them, and we communicated them through the DEPP process back in 2020. And we've been on hold for 18 months, just waiting and probing for answers all through the government.
That's what I keep getting from this, and I keep seeing in the headlines. There's always the goalpost continues to move, and still no concrete answers, and no, environmental impact studies presented, not just to the government but for the general public, so we know exactly what's going on. And
I think they're tweaking, they're refining the project as it goes, as they get input from us and from others. And so hopefully they get to the right answer. But I think there's some really serious concerns that have been raised by Atlantis on the environmental side and raised by others on the socioeconomic and nationalistic perspectives, right?
So how do we move forward with this? I mean, because obviously it's going to go down, but I mean, I think that coming in, they need to know there's a lot of neighbors on Paradise Island. And when you're coming into a community, you need to love thy neighbor.
You're moving into a community, right? You should be friendly with the neighbor. No, listen, we have had a good rapport with Royal Caribbean, and they have been a good business partner for us over the years, just in selling, packages for Aquaventure to their guests. And so we definitely value the relationship. And we've had dialogue specifically with respect to this project as well. But the answers are slow in coming. I mean, they just did a recent media tour here last week, all over the headlines.
Saw that.
But we can't find any detail that responds to any of the issues that we raised. And so that's a part of the site. There's a lot of talk, but not much detail in terms of what's being proposed.
Not a lot of substance.
It's hard to pin down exactly what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to do whatever we as a community will allow them to do at this point. And that's why it's important for us to stand up for issues that we think are important.
And I think that's what you have to do, being a responsible corporate citizen, as you guys have been so many years. I mean, not only do you support so many causes, but with financially, but now you can support it vocally because a platform such as the Atlantis carries some weight. You know what I mean? They'll listen when you talk. When the small man talks, we've seen what happened. Just ask Toby Smith. But you guys, at least you bring some weight to the table, and it helps all Bahamians benefit because at the end of the day, we have this innate, feeling that Paradise Island belongs to us. That's what we think.
Yeah. And this is Crown land that belongs to us. It's on Paradise Island, So it's important that we take it seriously and the use of it seriously.
We have a call. Let's get to that call real quick. One. Talking Heads, Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Who's this?
That's you. Hello?
Good afternoon.
You said your father was the captain of the Embassies. What was his name?
Well, if you know me, then you should know what my father's name is. How are you related to the Embassies? Captain Daniel Fenikathalaya is my father's name.
Fenikathalaya. I thought so. Thank you.
And who's this?
This is Miss Davis.
Okay. You had family.
Yeah.
You had family on the Embassies, because I know we have.
No, but I am sure you went to school, I guess, with my kids.
If they went to Zarvius or St. Andrews, yeah, we did, especially Zarvius.
St. Andrews.
There you go. All right, well, no worries. Yep,
okay.
That's my dad. Thanks for calling. All right.
Thank you.
No worries. All right. So there you go. I mentioned cruise ship, Brad, and that brought up memories. There you go. But like I like to talk about the cruise ship product, Vaughn, it is very beneficial, if you get it done correctly. Because I saw it work back in the day. I saw Bay Street filled with tourists. I saw Paradise Island filled with tourists. I saw Cable Beach filled with tourists. So we need to recreate that. And I think, having see how we recreate it. In one element, on one hand, they're crying for excursions. They're crying for things to do. So we try to do it, but we can't get in that game because now there's a privatized excursion coming. I mean, I don't get it. It makes me scratch my head.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, we all are ashamed of the condition of downtown, and then it continued to kind of deteriorate, over the years, and we all would like to see something happen with it. It might, it's interesting to ask the question: why isn't in this kind of investment happening in downtown itself, right? Which is kind of right where the cruise passengers come out into the port,
Right.
and so that's the kind of questions we probably should be considering. What would happen if we put $110 million investment in downtown Nassau right now? What would that look like, and what would be the broader impact for a large number of Bahamians?
And how sustainable would it be if you don't get the impact of the tourist?
Yeah.
I mean, and at the end of the day, here we are back at the same spot. Like, we keep spinning our wheels in the mud. Either we're going to do or we're not going to do, but we got to figure it out. We got to get to that point where we're in the game as Bahamians, and then foreign investors are also in the game. But it can't just be, one-sided. We still got to remain.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
there's clearly a need for more diligence on this project and just more information, right? We need to, as Bahamians, we need to know what's being proposed and know who the partners are and just know what the impact is going to be for us in the long run, right?
And that's the most important thing, because you don't want things to impact Paradise Island as a whole in a negative way, that inevitably is going to have a ripple effect things that are up and running and thriving right now and proven entities. So, we got to make sure I take care of the Ocean Club and of the Cove and of the Reef and even to the Coral Towers. You know what I mean? Down to the good old Coral Towers. That's an original. I got a special place in my heart for the Coral, man. I don't pick up the Coral enough. But like I say, it's been there. And a lot of people have expressed concern over the time, from when we had Toby on and daily when we have just the headlines and we go over it. Bahamians are concerned, because, again, they want to still know that we still have our, stake in the game with Paradise Island. That's a jewel in the crown, in the tourism crown. Yeah. So we got to make sure to protect it. So I appreciate you being so candid, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, because I know the hotel is full. Off the top of your head, I see y'all got some special events coming up.
Yeah, we're doing the concert series again.
Yeah. If you need a local Bahamian to open up for Pitbull and do 15 minutes, I got you, man. I got you. Dale, where my lord? That's my boy.
I don't know if we can afford you.
No, man, I do that one pro bono, man. Just make sure me and Pitbull get the hang. I'll take care of the rest. We good.
Okay.
No, but continue to keep up the good work. Continue to bring those kind of events. Lizzo was awesome. A lot of people looking forward to Pitbull. I know you got a lot of big events planned over the summer. And continue to do what you guys do. I like to brag. I like to say, I'm part of that Atlantis family. I'm the comedic outside stepchild, but don't play around Atlantis. That's part of my heart. So anytime you need to get the word out, mi casa es tu casa, you have a platform here. And I'm just so glad you stopped by today and just brought us up to snuff.
Appreciate it, Naughty. Thanks, Bahamas.
All right, and give my regards to man, from one side to the next.
Thank you.
All right, be safe, man. Take care. Let's get to the first break, Mr. Producer. On the flip side of the break, we'll get up into into the second portion. We did the headliners, Well, we'll get into the headliners, obviously, brought to you, of course, by Fine Threads. We'll get into the buzz, brought to you by John Shoes. And, of course, we'll check in with Freeport, Grand Bahama, for the Freeport Report during my Dunkin' Donuts coffee break. All coming up on the flip side of the break on the Tuesday, April 18th edition of Talking Heads, which continues right after this.
Original or hot and spicy?
Feeling original? Think twice. Here's some precise advice. Always add the spice.
Hey, that's great. Take your time, brother. I don't want you to run too far out with your spicy self.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, mouth hot, but you still ain't got the right flavor.
Listen, just like the Colonel, I'm an original. You? There's a spicy come lately.
You think so? Original. You could never.
There's no winning flavor. They're all finger-licking good. Only at KFC Nassau.
When I got prostate, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
People, what you thinking? We want something different. People, what you wanting? We want local government. I can tell them no more slunking. We want to see it function. I can tell them no more joke. I forgot. Going down Blue Hill Road, going down Village Road, going down Nassau Road. We want local government. We want local government. It's the road. We want local government. Share the love. We want local government. We got call for local government.
Sign the petition and find out more information at risebahamas.net.
Refined style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. If you want those steak in the waist, then Fine Threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video. Wanna step out and look great, then Fine Threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. Is your place. Is your place.
Hazelnut meets mocha with the new Dunkin' Hazelnut Mocha Signature Latte. Savor the delicious coffee combination of smooth, rich espresso with silky chocolate and toasted hazelnut flavors. All topped with whipped cream, decadent mocha drizzle, and hot chocolate powder. Available hot or iced, the Dunkin' Mocha Latte is the perfect pick-me-up at any time of day. So why wait? Head to your favorite Dunkin' and enjoy the Dunkin' Hazelnut Mocha taste sensation today. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Talking Heads, the Tuesday, April 18th edition of Talking Heads continues right now. Let's go to the phone lines real quick. Talking Heads, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Who's this?
Hey, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
You called my name. What do you say, Naughty? How you doing, bud?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Everything is cool, my brother. Let me put you a scenario, right?
All right.
Right. So let's say that Atlantis one day was to say, okay, all your Bahamian workers that are used to coming in every day, stand outside of Atlantis, yeah? And watch all these people come off of the cruise ship, being the crew, all foreign nationals coming into Atlantis to work. You're supposed to stand by and watch that happen. When RCL are doing that every day that they're in port at Coco Key, bringing off foreign labor that's not paying work permits, that's not contributing to national insurance, whose money is not staying in the Bahamas.
Correct. It doesn't go to, it's great to say, oh, we had 1 million tourists, but how many did it really impact? New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, so on and so forth. How many did it
So let
impact?
me answer that for you, right? So if RCL are bragging about doing 3 and 4 day cruises to the Bahamas, what's in the fine print, what they hide from you or be coy about, is saying it's a 3-day cruise that starts in Miami, that goes to Coco Key, which is Bahamian Crown land,
which they get off on.
Day at sea,
correct.
And then they go back to Miami.
And the majority of the money spent on souvenirs and trinkets and so on and so forth is sold in their gift stores that are run by their staff. There's very little impact on Bahamians to make the dollar.
Right. And then you've got land-based tourism, which is the hotels and the like, and plenty Bahamians are benefiting from Atlantis as far as being able to take home their pay. The Atlantis does throughout the Bahamas for Bahamians. Lots of good things, right? Whereas our Royal Caribbean, their registered office is in Liberia for tax efficiency.
Uh-huh.
They have the Bahamian flag because the labor laws, etc., are more lax. And then they say, oh, yeah, all of our ships are registered in the Bahamas. It's purely convenient.
You preach to the choir, bro.
Brag. They don't brag. They don't make it public as far, or they cherry pick the news that they want to pull out to make it look favorable for them. And when their boss is walking home with $15 million bonus, you see why they're fighting so hard to get over the PI.
Exactly.
So if a Bahamian excursion operator charges $150 for a day excursion, and Royal Caribbean are taking half of that, at least $75. It's the Bahamian that's done all of the work, all the liability, everything, to end up with just half what he could potentially make, because they're brainwashing the passengers. Only go here, which is our preferred operators, which is where they're getting a kickback from retail.
And they've been doing that from time immemorial.
Yeah. So when you look at downtown and see what a dump it is, and it's dirty, and you got thousands of people that are swarming into downtown with all the cruise ships they're in, yeah, that money is going to many foreign-owned operations. So while they're bragging about these millions of tourists coming in, notice that they don't talk anything about the money side of things, ever.
No, they don't.
Right? So that money, if they sign up for an excursion, is going back to RCL.
A lot of smoke and a lot of mirrors. We're one of the lowest, dollar values ports in the Caribbean.
Yeah, but when you compare
in the region,
and when you compare what the spend is between overnight tourism being in hotels like Atlantis versus the cruise line passengers spending, it's minuscule. It pales in comparison on the cruise passenger on what they spend. And you notice that an overnight in Nassau anymore.
No.
That's nothing towards supporting the Bahamian nightlife, because they want to be out to sea opening up their casinos.
Correct.
Right.
The earlier they get out, the earlier they can open up their casinos.
That's it. And they're pulling out like 4 o'clock.
Toby,
look at the schedule.
I watched, and I get a test. I watched my dad leave for work at 2 a.m. to depart at 4, to be the Coco Key, stir up Key around that area for 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock to set up with the same kind of operation.
Yeah.
Can't tell you where to lie. Staff off the MLCs would set up the island. Now there were Bahamian staff that ran the tenders. There were hair braiders. There were vendors on the island. And there were staff that were Bahamian that lived in the Berry Islands and worked that island. But that has changed.
That's yesterday.
If you look at it now, progress to 2023, they out of here 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. And then you've got operations like what I'm trying to put forward over on Paradise Island. It will restore the lighthouse for free.
Correct.
We're capping out the amount of people. We only want between 200 and 500 people a day. Not this.
That people think that you want.
Beach. We're welcoming Bahamians. RCL said in their conference call that they are going to have a special price for Bahamians at a reduced rate, and Bahamians can only go over there when their ship is not in port. And then the next IBM out, they're going to say that, we're going to have an RCL ship in port every day of the year, bringing millions of people. And Bahamians, to be able to use their own Crown Land Beach, are going to have to pay Royal Caribbean, a foreign-owned company, who's going to export that money out of the country.
It's crazy.
How can you look at it as being a good deal?
Got a couple of texts coming in. Which industry that the Bahamas really own these days? None, really. Do we own an industry? Because we brag on tourism, but do we really have a stake in it?
No. So instead of RCL concentrating on trying to grab up more Crown land, they're talking on the other radio show the other day, talking about they're applying for Bahamian passports.
Yeah, I heard that. You mentioned that to me.
Right? Then they're down in Rum Key, scouting out Rum Key to put in an export. Before you know it, all of these cruise lines, MSC, Carnival, Royal, all of these cruise lines are going to have their own private ports, either already built or in the process of building. Disney say they're leaving from Port Canaveral. They're going to Castaway Key, which is in Abaco. Then they're going to Lighthouse Point, which is south of Eleuthera. And then they're going back to Port Canaveral. That's not bringing any tourists whatsoever to Nassau. So 100% almost of those revenues are going directly to them.
Well, you know what? We got to get you on, man. You got some time this week or next week, man.
Yes, my brother. I appreciate you. Thank you.
No worries, man. I got to get to Freeport for the Freeport report. I got to chat with
Roger that. Yeah, man. Have a good one, bud.
But I appreciate you chiming in. And listen, we'll continue this fight, man.
Respect. We will.
And you know what? You got a good tag team partner right there with Atlantis. I think that they're very genuine about keeping that environment up and running and how it should be over there. So I think I think you guys need to continue fighting
fairly and with respect.
There you go.
Amen.
Real talk. All right, brother. We'll talk soon. Be safe.
Yeah, man. Respect.
All right. Naughty, why don't the cruise ships don't shut down here? The Caribbean Islands. That's other Caribbean Islands. Got to ask our politicians why they pass legislation to let them stay open. Because certain things are open that never used to be open before. So I feel like, shut it down like back in the day. That way, you have to come off. You have to spend. You have to come out. Toby, form a cooperative with 30-plus businesses that are integral in different aspects of Bahamian economy and work together to pull down strongholds. Strength is in numbers. It's a good idea right there, Texter. All right, let's go to Grand Bahama, Mr. Producer. Let's check in with Sarah Kirkby and the crew down there in Grand Bahama. Every Tuesday we have the supplement, all right, from the Grand Bahama News in the Guardian. So get the Guardian, spend the money, get the supplement. And Sarah, what you got for us? How you doing?
I'm good, love. Well, I've got a bit of a cold, but I'm all right.
Well, keep it right there in Grand Bahama, man. But yeah, busy day here. I'm talking now with my good friends over there, the Atlantis and Toby Smith. But I see a lot of things popping in Grand Bahama as well.
Well, I from what I saw from the stories, RCL is still interested in coming here. And we have the space. You're a little bit crowded there in Nassau. So why don't you send the love over?
We could figure it out.
We can figure it out. I mean, we've got a hotel that we still want them to have, and we still we need some more people. We have room for 2 cruise ports. Carnival's got 1. We got room for another. We'll take it. We'll take the jobs. Though I do agree with Toby on a lot of what he said with some of the jobs. We do need to keep them a lot more Bahamian. I've actually just been on a cruise and saw what was happening in other islands. It's the same thing. And we do need to have our MPs and ministers, when they make these deals, really think consciously about Bahamians in these jobs. So that's my 5 cents on that. But hey, you know what? We'll take RCL. We'll take their business over here. The cruise industry is only growing, so you can't fight completely against it. You got to work with them.
And I'll be honest, back in the day, Grand Bahama was another great port of call in the archipelago, man. You do the Nassau. I remember my dad on Emerald Seas used to do Miami, Nassau, Freeport, Private Island, back, and then sometimes it just used to be Nassau and the Private Island. But that used to be part of the run, and Freeport was a major staple for a lot of cruise ships.
Yeah, and we're close. That's why they're all trying to. It's so expensive to go on these long trips, so it's better for them to have that. We've also, we've got the shipyard, which also repairs a lot of cruise ships. So for us, it's a good connection. And again, it's space. I agree. PI might just get a little bit crowded over there, and it'll be a bit of an undersea Atlantis adventure if you have that many people on the island.
Yeah,
but
there you go. Yeah,
it's got to work together, and I'm pretty sure there's enough smart people in our country can sit down and sort it out and work it together. But we all do need to improve ports and make them better so that people do have a wonderful time
and a better experience. I agree with you on that. But I see some big things popping. Like I said, the Fortune Canal dredging finally getting underway.
Yeah, it's finally getting there after a lot of complaining. So it looks like they're preparing everything, and I would think next week they'll actually start making it happen. They had to do a coral restoration move, which was very successful for the canal, and now they're also moving the dolphins that are near with the dolphin experience. They're being moved, so there's no silt, obviously, that will go and cause any issues. So it's being very environmentally conscious of what's happening there, from what I understand. And so hopefully it will get going. But it's also, unfortunately, by not dredging it, it has stopped a lot of boat movement and also sales for real estate, which we are really big. We're really trying to play on that second home market in Grand Bahama because of our proximity to Fort Lauderdale and West Palm and the boating community. We have a lot of places that are available, especially for people for slips. I don't know if you know, but in Florida, they have no boat slips left. So they're always looking for places, and we're a really close distance. So, that's something that we need, but we need to have access to our canals. And due to the storms, we've had a lot of damage in them.
Well, I mean, I agree with you on the slips. That is a huge market. And we have the opportunity to do something well in the Bahamas with those kind of things, especially talking to my good friend Peter Maury. Got a lot of opportunity. We have to do it right, though. And we do, but we have to look at that second home market and what it does. People have to look at that bigger picture of what a nomad living in the nomad people that can come and work from home, and what that means, the jobs they bring, the schools they help, the cars, the gas, the supermarkets. It all benefits us. And if we can afford to do it and we have the space, then these are things we need to really improve on. And our second home market is important here for Grand Bahama. And so our Airbnbs that have also kept us going while we've had no hotels like Atlantis or Bahamar. Well, I think, the opportunity is there. Again, though, we have to look at it and say, okay, what makes sense? Maybe we need to move this project here. Maybe we need to move this here. Maybe we need to do some boutiques on the smaller islands rather than major resorts. And try and do it strategically, but obviously taking the whole landscape that we have in our archipelago and make it beneficial, make it, a money maker. I mean, look everywhere in our archipelago, you said somewhere you turn around, you got a beach, you got a beautiful sunset, and you got beautiful water.
Exactly, and everybody still wants that.
Halfway there.
Exactly, and we really need smart businessmen and women. I should not forget the women making these decisions and helping our government and the people in charge make these decisions. And when these agreements come to term, we should be, very clear, like Toby said, that we're looking for the benefit of the Bahamians as well. I mean, you've also got to allow some business, so you've got to allow them to have their bit, but we have to also look out for our own. I agree with that. And listening to what Atlantis is saying now makes you think about the bigger picture, which is that we all need to be fighting for long-term more rights that the one we've been fighting for with human rights for so long, which is we need to have the Freedom of Information Act. We should all have that. This is something that has just waited way too long to happen.
And I'm tired of it being a hot button and hot topic issue on the campaign trail, and then as soon as you get in, you backtrack from it like hot potato.
Exactly, and if we had a Freedom of Information Act, we would see all these agreements. We would be allowed to speak out. We would have, and I think it's something that has to happen. It's got to be part of what we see as Bahamians to just to help our culture, to help our country improve.
We do, but again, Randers, we talk about it a lot. We need to get some of these things like actually going, so it could be a catalyst. That's why I'm looking at the new resorts coming to Grand Bahama. I'm looking at the projects here, and I'm saying, all right.
But if people are willing to make all this noise about RCL, they should also be willing to make this noise about having a Freedom of Information Act.
Oh, yeah.
Just like they should be having oil laws as well. If you're willing to stand up and say something about that, then you've also got to stand up on those other issues too.
Agreed.
And then, then I'll get on the women's issues next. So watch out, I'll be on a roll.
There you go, man. And I don't blame you. We need more people to talk out, especially with all the incidents of violence against women, and that kind of mum's the word,
Exactly.
Very surprised.
And women, and please don't get me wrong. I know a lot of women need to stand up. We need to get as stronger as women and speak out more. It's we do run the back end of, and we're the mothers, and we get things going, but we've also got to speak out for ourselves. So don't get me wrong. I think we also need to speak out a lot more and support people that are making these legislative changes for us. We've done the whole gamut today.
There you go, man. And listen, speaking of the gamut, Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce pushing the whole Sand Dollar initiative. I like that.
I have to be honest, I've got to go to this. I don't understand it completely, and I need to understand it a lot. But, I at one time didn't want to do online banking. Now I can't live without online banking. So it's something you've got to, get ready and adjust to and prepare for.
It's part of the future, man. Now,
part of the future.
The Coconut Festival was back, and I see it looks like it was well attended. It looks like my boy KB down there doing his thing.
I know. Hey, I missed him. I was so mad. He's so fabulous, and when he has an audience, Lord, he could work it. So, I heard it was a great turnout, and we had some bad weather here in Grand Bahama, but it's sunshine for them at Pelican Point, which is so needed because that's like one of the first events happening after Dorian. So it's fantastic for that island. I'd love everyone to pay attention to, which is being multi-capable. It's a great story about the Beacon School here in Grand Bahama and how they're teaching these kids to have a chance at working after school to try and earn a living, to bring something back and give them that pride in a job for special needs children. It's a really lovely story, and I'd love people to read about that. It's a really nice one that we have in the paper today as well.
And then, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. And I think they always do a great job with that Beacon School down there. So, keep up the good work.
Yeah.
I mean.
And then you got the old boys who came out.
Yeah, I was coming with that. Dear Jesus, what am I seeing? What am I looking at?
Yeah, boy.
Oh, God.
It was a funny game. It started off really quick in the first 15 minutes, and then it went really slow for the rest of the game. But they gave it their best.
How many hamstrings and muscles were pulled in this whole affair?
In like the first 5 minutes, I think they lost half the team on the Freeport side.
Dear
they were
God,
bringing
man.
in extras.
Why that one got his shirt off, though? I believe I know who put your shirt on, bro. No.
But I have to tell you, it's really nice when the touring sides come. They had 18 guys. They had that whole debacle with the Fort Lauderdale airport, but these guys still managed to make it here. And it's the money they spend, the buses, the support they give. And usually, you know, when these teams come, they also bring friends and family and wives and girlfriends and everything. So it's great for our economy and gives us a good boost as well. Besides, you know, the Bengay and all the medical
the supplies.
things that will go up.
Ace bandage and tape can done. Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
and we also had the Prime Minister's wife there, and she was lovely. She was on the island, and she came out, and she had met the gentleman the night before where she had been, and so they asked her to come out and support. She came and said hi, which I thought was just amazing.
That's awesome.
And
Good stuff.
it spread a lot. Everyone was so proud to have her there. So my thanks to her.
There you go.
Very much.
Well, I appreciate you chiming in, Sarah. Good stuff as always.
Thank you.
And
Nice chatting you. And Darren sends his regrets. He says he will be there next week, but he has a bit of an emergency.
We'll go next week with both of you guys and really chop it up, all right? But I
All right,
appreciate you
sounds
chiming
great.
in. And each and every Tuesday, look for it in The Guardian, the Grand Bahama Report, all right? The supplement from Grand Bahama with the Grand Bahama News. And always check out the Freeport Report right here every Tuesday on Talking Heads. But I appreciate you chiming in. Mr. Producer, let's get to the second break.
you.
And on the second break, we'll be back to wrap it up. As a matter of fact, we're going straight to the news out of this break.
All right, take care.
We'll be back
Thank
to
you,
wrap it
Mom.
up. All right,
Bye.
man. Take care, and we'll talk to you again next Tuesday. All right, the Tuesday,
All right,
April
bye.
18th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
Hazelnut meets mocha with the new Dunkin' Hazelnut Mocha Signature Latte. Savor the delicious coffee combination of smooth, rich espresso with silky chocolate and toasted hazelnut flavors. All topped with whipped cream, decadent mocha drizzle, and hot chocolate powder. Available hot or iced, the Dunkin' Mocha Latte is the perfect pick-me-up at any time of day. So why wait? Head to your favorite Dunkin' and enjoy the Dunkin' Hazelnut Mocha taste sensation today. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. Whatever confident, you will find what you're looking for among our always growing collection of amazing and trendy styles. We cover women, men, children, the whole family. Together with John's great prices and helpful and friendly customer service, your experience in shopping with us will be time well spent. Too busy to come in store? Shop with us online. www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on in today at John's, where we put fashion at your feet.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey. For every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Play with Island Games, we making dreams come true. Play with Island Games, we paying more out to you. Don't mind the noise in the market, you getting cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is position, so when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first, guaranteed to pay. Island Games, we like them other jokers. We've been here from the start, from the bike to computer. Island Games, we can make your dreams come true. We playing with Island Games.
The ultimate sandwich experience starts with a bite of the KFC Barbecue Glazed Zinger and a flavor explosion of crispy, juicy, 100% premium white meat spicy filet, KFC barbecue sauce, lettuce, cheese, and smoky bacon on a toasted brioche bun. The perfect balance of heat and sweet. You won't be able to resist the KFC Barbecue Glazed Zinger. Made by the fried chicken sandwich experts, the KFC Barbecue Glazed Zinger is available for a limited time. Try one today. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
All right, we're back at you on the Tuesday, April 18th edition of Talking Heads. And real quick before we get to the break, man, all right, listen. I look at the headlines today, and I'm glad I see this. And there's a numerous, amount of headlines that jump out. But police probe and leak of crime scene photos from double murder. Story by Jared Higgs, assistant broadcast editor. Police are following up on the circumstances surrounding the leak of crime scene photos from the murder scene, where the bodies of a mother and her daughter were found on Friday morning at the Ross Corner residence. Allison Thompson, who would have turned 38 on Friday, and her daughter, Trevonica Thompson, 14, were found with lacerations, police reported. On Sunday, social media users began making posts and the photos of the gruesome crime scene were being circulated, and they were. And they came across my desk, and I didn't even open them. But some of y'all should really be ashamed of what y'all do. It's innuendo you put out on people's name on a daily basis on social media without any kind of recall or consequences. But my God, have some modicum of respect for the family. Have some respect for the dead. There, but for the grace of God, go you or I. That could be one of our loved ones. Heck, that could be one of us. And you really think your family should be put through that? You really think that should be circulated? I've seen some of y'all, for lack of a better word, idiots with cell phones, with smartphones. I've seen some stuff pop up online on other sites, and it's emanated from the Bahamas. How it get there? It's not just good enough for you to post it here. You want to post it so it goes really viral and international? Come on, man. We're better than that. Forward, onward, upward together. 50 years. Forward, onward, upward together. You think that's being forward, onward, upward together? No, that's putting us back another 50 years. That mindset is not going to work. That mindset's not going to get us where we need to be. We need to be more about substance rather than sensationalism and shock. Let's get this call in real quick, and then let's get to the news. Talking Heads, Guardian Radio. Who's this?
Hey, Noddy.
Hey, what's going on?
Right there, man. Listen, I am just tuning in. That subject with the topic of these leaked photographs. Many of us cry shame on the person who actually did that. We deduce, even though we have no physical evidence, that it could only emanated from two different places, either someone on the police force or the EMTs themselves who came down, or even go to the extent, well, I'm sure these went out before the hearse drivers and stuff, actually. The morticians got there. But, it's really a shame that nothing is sacred in this country anymore. Could you imagine the children or the family members, the nieces and nephews who may have officially notified of what would have happened? The pain that it cost them. And not only that, look at the potential case should have been proven that this persons, put these pictures out there. Because it's in the public domain now, what kind of impact can it have on the potential?
There need to be consequences, man. We've gotten to this stage where it's been abused so much, Jeff. It needs to be consequences now.
It has to be consequences because for far too long, people have been hurt with this kind of stuff. I mean, even right down in closing, a person who may have been sick, for instance, in the hospital, but yet information posted online, but the person had passed.
Correct.
What kind of pain and suffering?
And then you find out that they haven't passed.
Yeah, they haven't passed. They need to stop this nonsense. I mean, you can trace these persons, even the ones who go ahead and repost and repost and repost. You need to call them in as well because they are complicit to these cases.
You got
these mothers.
You mean the K-business of the world?
Yeah. You got to bring all them in. Then I believe that stuff like this will stop because I put myself in the feet of the family members of these two victims. What happened if it was me? How would I have felt for these pictures to be exposed before me as a family member was alerted to what
went down? Exactly.
It's shameful, man. But thanks for taking my call.
I appreciate you, Jeff. You got to get to the news, but good stuff as always, man. All right, with that being said, real quick, let me check these two texts. Naughty, those photos could only have been generated from the police. And I cry shame on those officers or crime scene persons who violate those persons' dignity. They should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. This place isn't a real place. Slackness can't done. Yep. I agree with you right there, Dexter. Slackness can done. All right, that's a wrap. Great first hour, y'all. We'll be back at you right after the news. To get into the 5 o'clock hour, we'll be talking sports as the Tuesday, April 18th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is The Guardian News.
Talking Heads with Marty is brought to you by BTC, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, the Cleveland Clinic, Dunkin' Donuts, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, Joker's Wild, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, Rise Bahamas, Scotiabank, and Tropical Gyros. We're back at you on the Tuesday, April 18th edition of Talking Heads. 5:12 p.m. is the time. Pearl will be chiming in short order. The Pearl will be chiming in. We got the Pearl yet? The Pearl will be chiming in. I'm sure of it.
Mr. Producer, Pearly just texted me. He wants me to let you know you're number one. Because I know you ain't telling me I'm number one. Anyway.
Anyway, what? What happened? What happened? What you making noise about today?
Boy, listen here, Pearly. You just know how to text me certain things at the right time, and then you know I could go right into Joker's wild mode. Eh?
I gotta make sure you don't go there, you see?
But don't enable me because you're not helping right now. I'm just gonna tell you that you're not helping.
How am I not helping? Tell me, what did I do so much to help you?
You know, you know how I'm laughing?
Why?
I was out of range, so my data dropped off for a minute. I didn't have my data on. I was on Wi-Fi, but out of range. And I had texted, I tell you, zoom in now. And then I realized you had texted me before that had gone through to you. So I was laughing. I was like, look at this. I don't realize I had already texted him. But now he's sending me.
Oh, you mean the finger I gave you?
Yeah, the Perry salute. And I had realized he was done in now. He was supposed to be let in, but I didn't open the door. Anyway, let's get into today in sports history. All brought you, of course, by Naughty Johnny's. Boy, because Pearly, Jesus, on this day today, my God. The most things happen. I probably. But real quick, be sure to check out Naughty Johnny's Monday through Friday. Great for lunch and dinner. Then on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, great for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All right? And on the weekends, breakfast starting at 9 a.m. Happy hour every Wednesday and every Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. at Naughty Johnny's. All right? Well worth the trip to the Old Fort Shopping Plaza, always. All right, so here's what happened on April 18th, on this day. 1923, Yankee Stadium opened in the Bronx. The Yankees beat the Red Sox 4-1. And John Philip Sousa's band played the national anthem. I mean, that's classic Yankees right there. Beautiful. Now, I see why the Red Sox hate us so much. 1938, U.S. President Roosevelt threw out the first baseball preceding the season opener between the Washington Senators. 1956, Ed Rommel became the first umpire to wear glasses during the Major League Baseball. Why did they even go to, if you need glasses, don't even hire you. You need to go.
You got to go here, you see blind, eh? Oh, yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, if you got glasses, Houston, we got a problem. I mean, I already want to protest this game. 1962, Bill Russell of the Boston Celtics scored 30 points and got 40 rebounds in a win over the Los Angeles Lakers. It was the fourth straight NBA title for the Celtics.
He beat Chamberlain. He beat Bill Chamberlain. I was very upset. Not that I know about it because I born that year.
But my God, Pearly, though, 40 rebounds in a game?
Bill Russell was the defense. He was not a big scorer. Even though you saw him at 30 points, he was a defensive specialist.
I used to block shots with the best of them and start the fast break because he'd block them into the main court toward guards and then pick it up and go down and do the rest.
Yep. So that's why when people start talking about Jordan is the greatest, Bill Russell got 11 titles.
And you got to put Kareem in there too if you want to have that conversation too, though.
Oh, you got to, of course.
1977. Here's one you'll remember: Eddie Murray, the big first baseman. Eddie Murray hit his first career home run for the Baltimore Orioles.
Okay, he came to the Dodgers later on.
Was he on that winning team with Kirk Gibson that year as well too?
I think, I believe so. I got to remember. I can't remember that starting. That's a shame I can't remember that starting lineup. Eh?
Yeah, boy, you got to pull that one up. The Atlanta Braves in '82 set a National League record when they won their 11th straight game from the start of the season. But how did they finish in '82, Bertie? Didn't they end up on an end-up weekend series against the Dodgers and you all beat them and send them home after that great start, if I'm not mistaken?
We sure did.
Boy, and guess what? That's when TBS was first pushing the Braves. Jesus, you remember that? Every time you look up, a Braves game was coming on.
Yeah, Turner.
My God, every time you look up, Braves this, Braves that. Boy, but I remember that. 11 games to start the season, and then after that, squadouche.
Speaking of TBS, my Dodgers on TBS tonight.
Yeah, they need to start winning, though, Brady.
Oh, yeah, all right, man. It's only April. I'm worried about that.
All right. Well, let's finish this. 85, Tulane University abolished its 72-year-old basketball program. The reason was charges on fixed games, drug abuse, and payments to players. You remember that?
Which school it was?
Tulane in 85.
Yes. When they stopped everything, yes. I remember that.
Death penalty. 1987, Mike Schmidt of the Phillies hit his 500th career home run.
I remember that. I watched him hit that.
87, the New York Islanders beat the Washington Capitals 3-2, 68 minutes and 47 seconds into overtime. It was the sixth longest game in NHL history. 95, Joe Montana retired from the NHL. 1999, Wayne Gretzky of the New York Rangers played his final game.
Wait. Back up. Joe Montana retired from the NHL?
No, the NFL in 95. Okay. And then
I trying to figure this a different Joe Montana.
No, Wayne Gretzky, he retired from the NHL on the same date. 4 years final game in NHL during the game.
The greatest of all time.
Got his 2,857th NHL point. He retired as the NHL's all-time leading scorer and holder of 61 individual records. And a testament to the greatness of Gretzky. If you take his assist alone, he's still the all-time leading scorer in the history of the NHL.
Yes, he was great. He was awesome. I loved the one. He was like floating on ice.
There's no question as to who the GOAT is in the NHL. There's no question as to who the GOAT. And that's when you could argue for 2, 3, and 4 on Rushmore. You could argue for the Three Little Pigs to go with the Billy Goat, but it ain't gonna be.
Yeah, maybe after him, but then you'll have Mario Lemieux and Mark Messier.
And don't forget Bobby Orr and Bobby Hull.
Orr, they would argue, yeah. Would have been good to have Clint today because the NHL playoffs started last night. Bruins won, of course.
Yeah, boy, Bruins looking good. Don't say it because you know what happens when they look good in the playoffs. They end up getting disappointed, but they do look good.
No, the Bruins look great all season, set all kind of records. They look really good in the playoffs. I can't see them. I can't see anybody beating them. Maybe the Rangers.
And on this 2005, it was announced that the NFL's Monday Night Football would leave ABC in 2006 for a new home with ESPN. Monday Night Football had been on ABC since 1970.
And then when ABC did, got pissed and bought ESPN, so they have it all.
They got it all now, greedy buggers. And that's a wrap on today in sports history, all brought to you, of course, by Naughty Johnny's. All right, Pearly, let's get into the local sports scene, all brought to you, of course, by Burger King Nassau. And listen, man, BK got that plant-based Whopper. If you haven't tried it, you need to, man. It's everything that is a Whopper, but it's plant-based. It's all good.
Really? How it tastes? I mean, I'm not a big fan of plant-based stuff. I just like my meat. I like,
No, man. Listen, I did a sample of it. It was pretty solid. I cannot tell you whether or not.
I'll check it out. I'm a BK kind of dude. I'll check it out.
And it's available for you for takeout, drive-thru, and delivery with the Craven app at your favorite BK Nassau location. All right.
Okay.
Now, here's the good thing. We're looking at local sports news. Jones and Strawn on the rise. Bahamian young men reaching global standards, first and second in the world in their respective disciplines. This, obviously, we're talking about Bahamian Keyshawn Strawn is the number 2 in the world's top performance list for the 2023 in the men's javelin. He set a season-best national record distance of 84.27 meters in the men's javelin. And then Jones, who's blazing, literally, on the track. He has tied the Bahamian national record in the men's 100 meters and could be a force at this summer's World Championships. He's clocked in a wind-legal 9.91 seconds and is at number 1 on the world's top performance list for 2023. So there you go. Look for those two. Texas Tech is where Terrence Jones is running. And Auburn University is where Keyshawn Strawn is throwing the javelin.
And he's doing well, and I would hope that Terrence could probably get down to a 9, a 9, 8 something by the time the Olympics come around. That'd be nice. That'd be really good because it's wide open now, but no more Usain.
Yep, I'm telling you, you gotta look at it.
But on a little piece of local sports, I found out that there's a sport that St. Augustine's is not dominant in.
What is that, Pearly?
Golf.
Oh, I hear Winds are killing it in golf.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't notice one Caribbean name in that crew.
But I wonder why. I guess that's a product. I guess that's a direct product of direct foreign investment, eh?
Well, that's fine with me.
As long as they
I'm gonna call my friend Ian Corbell, who is an instructor at the Blue Hills Field, and I'm gonna tell him he needs to get St. Augustine's team together. I'm gonna call my brother Clinton, who's my nephew in the United States in South Florida. Was one of the top golfers in South Florida. Actually got a 4-year ride for playing golf. And my niece, who is a sophomore in high school, as a junior, was beating up on seniors on the golf in high school golf. They need to come in and start becoming.
What was your niece's name?
My niece is Cindy Cooper. My brother's Clinton Cooper.
Okay. No, because I got our boy Stevie J in the chat group. Stevie Johnson, golf aficionado. He did get rooted up on the golf course by a high school teenage golf prodigy who happened to be a female. I thought it might have been the same person.
You never know. She is really good. She's high school in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale. She's on the varsity team as a freshman. She was on the varsity team.
There you go. Potential.
And for people who don't understand the Americans, most ninth graders are called freshmen, and very few freshmen play varsity ball in high school. So for a freshman to be playing varsity golf and beating up on 12th graders,
okay.
And both her parents, I'm trying to convince my brother and my sister-in-law to let her come try for the national golf team. Yeah, they're both Bahamian.
You should do that.
I'm working on it. I got to check it out this year and find out when the trials are and get it to come down here.
If anybody can get it done, Pearly can.
I'll certainly give it my best shot. The old St. Augustine's try.
We got a text to chime in, and Naughty, y'all actually sit down and watch hockey. Are you serious? I don't know any Bahamians that just watch hockey. Well, you have a couple off the Eastern Road who went to school in Canada who like to watch the ice hockey. I could attest to that.
I went to college in Minnesota. My first year in Minnesota, the Minnesota North Stars, who are now the Dallas Stars, just got beat in the Stanley Cup that summer. So you don't have to be in. You could sit outside sit out in the grass on the campus, and at 6 o'clock the hockey game starts because they're 2 hours behind us. 6 o'clock the hockey game starts. I'll be honest. 6 o'clock the hockey game starts, and you could sit there and you will know whenever the Minnesota North Stars score or when somebody score against them, because if they score, the entire campus lights up. If they get scored, the campus says a proverbial F you very loud. So
wow,
it was fun, and I got into the hockey. I went to a couple of games. The little flying ointment. Me and my friend Mark, we went to a few games, and hockey is really a fun sport. It's fun.
Well, to be honest with you, Dexter, I don't watch hockey. It's too cold. No, I'm only joking. I grew up watching hockey because I had an aunt in Canada. Lord bless her dad. My aunt Ruthie Cato. That was my granny's sister. She used to send me Edmonton Oilers jerseys from as a little boy. She lived in Winnipeg. She sent me some Blue Bomber stuff. And then, of course, she asked me about who you like in hockey. And you know me, I jumped up in first name. I know, Gretzky! And then I had me my 99 Oilers blue Gretzky jersey.
So you still got it?
Yeah, man. It's somewhere in the treasure chest. A lot of sports.
I just was saying to myself, I got to go dig up and see what all jerseys I got. I mean, only Laker, Dodgers, and Dolphin. I might have a Pittsburgh Steeler one day or something because my dad used to be a Steeler fan back in one day.
So I kind of grew up rocking the Gretzky, and then I became a huge fan, obviously, watching him in every transition. I rocked the LA Kings jersey because I was just fresh.
Yes.
I was just dope.
Yeah.
I had a black one of them and had a white one of them.
It's not a thing. See, you're misrepresenting it, Naughty. It's not jersey. It's called sweater.
Well, sweater, but
Yes, you had a LA Kings sweater. They don't call them jerseys in hockey. They call them sweaters.
And then with Ice Cube and NWA.
I got you.
And then, later on in New York, that was a classic one, classic 99 in New York with the Rangers. And I said, he was
but that was kind of pitiful, though. He was kind of like in the decline. It wasn't all that good.
Yeah, but still, though. Check this text out. What about watching curling? I like to watch curling. Well, you watch curling for me and Pearly because I ain't gonna watch curling.
No. If the Olympics is on and I'm scanning, I'm scrolling through, I would stop and watch it for like 5 minutes.
I would watch curling and laugh at that idiot who's run down in the front and shave the ice, and then the next one is blow the puck down, and it's a lot of shaving and a lot of blowing. Too much shaving and blowing for me. Looked like too much hard work.
Yeah, only you the one. If you're the one who let it go, and you let it go at that precise right time, that'd be like that timing. And that, if you let it go too fast, too slow, it'd be kind of fun. The cattle, they call it, I think.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what it is. All right, listen, let's get to the first break, Pearly. As we wrap up the home court, all brought to you, of course, by Burger King Nashville. We'll take the first break, flip side of the break. We'll get into who's in and who's out. All brought to you, of course, by Tropical Gyros. And I got some Texas already, firing up. Is Golden State done? What say you, Naughty? What say you, Pearly? So we'll address that on the flip side of the break, as well as other NBA playoff action, Major League Baseball out of the break, as the Tuesday, April 18th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
Hazelnut meets mocha with the new Dunkin' Hazelnut Mocha Signature Latte. Savor the delicious coffee combination of smooth, rich espresso with silky chocolate and toasted hazelnut flavors. All topped with whipped cream, decadent mocha drizzle, and hot chocolate powder. Available hot or iced, the Dunkin' Mocha Latte is the perfect pick-me-up at any time of day. So why wait? Head to your favorite Dunkin' and enjoy the Dunkin' Hazelnut Mocha taste sensation today. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
People, what you thinking? We want something different. People, what you wanting? We want local government. I can tell them no more slunking. We want to see it function. I can tell them no more joke. I forgot. Going down Blue Hill Road, going down Village Road, going down Nassau Road. We want local government. We want local government. We want local government. Shut up, we want local government. We got call for local government.
Sign the petition and find out more information at risebahamas.net.
Jet off to the basketball playoffs with your Scotiabank credit card. You could be courtside in the middle of the action with an all-expenses-paid trip, plus airfare, spending money, and accommodations to the supply for any Scotia credit card. Spend $120 or more on a purchase, or use our Scotia Select Pay installment plan to win a slam dunk trip to the next basketball playoffs, courtesy of your Scotia credit card. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live at Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The Tuesday, April 18th edition of Talking Heads is on and popping. And we're back into the 5 o'clock hour, 5:30 p.m. is the time. And let's get into it. The Who's In and Who's Out segment, all brought to you, of course, by Tropical Gyros. Be sure to check them out, both locations. All right, you got the flagship store, Mackey Street, Mackey and Rosetta, open until 6. And, of course, you got the newest location, R&D Plaza. All right, JFK, open until 7. So get your Tropical Gyro on. Big up the Chef Carmen and the crew, man. Definitely doing it for you. All right, always a pleasure when you get Tropical Gyros, man. It's worth the trip, man. All right? And it's always one of those things I look forward to. I don't know about you, Purdy, but when I say, hey, let's go get some Tropical Gyros, I be jonesing for them. But I don't know if Purdy's in the fryer or not.
I'm listening to you. You talking about Tropical Gyros. I wasn't interfering.
Yeah. Oh, listen here. I had a winner, man. I forgot to tell you. I had a winner for the trivia earlier for all you texters. It was, they almost get in a car accident for staring at an accident. A lot of y'all was saying, they talk on their cell phone, they text, and they this and that. No, almost 51% of women admitted in the survey and 40% of men admitted in the survey, all the Haymans, that they almost got in an accident before by looking at another accident.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
That make
I
plenty
was
sense.
looking in the mirror.
That make plenty sense.
Yeah.
So
who's in and who's out?
Who's in and who's out? Well, the question came through via the text. Naughty and Pearly, is Golden State done?
No. Not by a long shot.
Why say you that?
They ain't gone home yet. They haven't gone home yet. Now if they lose one in Golden State, let's say they win one in Golden State, they're split in Golden State. It's over. But if they can take two and Golden State and tie it up, you have a whole new series.
Boy.
It ain't over till the other team wins 4 games.
Okay, so you say Golden State is still quite alive in this series.
Yes.
All right. What's your take on the Draymond Green situation? You think he's going to get suspended out of that?
Wondering about that right now, I'm wondering right now about that. Because I at first I said, oh man, he's stepping with the step. But when I look at the play and they really played it back, Sabonis grabbed his ankle. So what I would do would finish. You got your ejection, you got your tech, it finished. Leave it right there.
And that's what you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know, boy. I don't know. If the league hasn't done anything by now, like you say, I don't think they're going to do it, considering it's a game tomorrow.
Them to Warren. That's, you know, somebody was saying, I miss them. Kevin McHale, Craig Rambis games and stuff like that. They were a bunch of, I can't use that word on the radio, but they soft.
Who? Who's soft?
I say I miss them Kevin McHale, Kirk Rambis type games. I say I don't want to say the name, but I want to call these NBA players today on the radio, but they soft.
Yes, sir. And you know who made the league soft, right? You know who they changed the rules to soften up the league for, right?
No, Lord. You mean LeBron?
LeBron, yeah.
So I guess they're saying Draymond will likely be fined and won't be suspended, which I can live with.
Well, speaking of which, Rich Eisen is going to take us home with the final 10 today, just talking on all of that situation. Rich got a good take on it, you know? I personally think it was Draymond being Draymond. Now, listen, Sabonis, I get the fact you got licked down, but you grabbed a man's leg. From you grabbed a man's leg, a crazy man like Draymond, anything is liable to happen.
Now, you know the head game going to get played in game 3. And who's better at playing the head game than Draymond?
And he was already starting it yesterday. He was already souping himself up yesterday, already hyping himself up.
I can see him, but I already stomp you. I'll stomp you again, bro. I'll stomp you again. I had to throw a blow against us and get through the game.
But did you see how verbal he was in vocalizing it?
I got off on that. I thought that was cool.
How he got
not cool, but I thought it was, I don't know if I would say it was cool, but it didn't bother me. I thought it was funny as hell. But he got into it with the fans and everything.
Yeah, man. I thought that was hilarious.
I think that's going to make the series even more exciting, especially if they come back there to play. You know?
Uh-huh.
I think they'd be looking forward to him coming back for Game 5. I think they would want Sacramento lose one in Golden State just for Game 5.
I think, listen, ratings-wise, the league will love it.
Yes, it would work.
I think they will get the ratings that they want for that kind of series.
Yeah. I think so too.
I think you know, and beware a lot of these series in the first round with injured superstars could be, you know, media pushing for ratings as well too. It looks bad now, but boy, listen here.
Ja might play tomorrow. He might play. If not, he'll be back for Game 3, which is cool with me. I won't beat them with him.
What I'm saying is, it don't just go for Memphis; it goes for Milwaukee.
Giannis,
and it also goes.
He got a clean MRI. So
yeah, but
like
you and I both know that's a back, brother. That MRI. Screw you. We ain't doing nothing. Go sit down.
Yeah. That tightened up.
And then there's Phoenix, and I'll be honest with you. I think Westbrook took their nerve the other night.
Westbrook was a beast.
I think all 3 of 19 shooting. All of 3 of 19 shooting. But it's those intangibles, Pearly.
Yes, exactly. The block shot, to throw the ball up.
And for lack of a better word, big kahunas, buddy.
Yeah.
Big kahunas.
That can be interesting to see. But I don't think they'll go much further than that. I think there might have been one more game.
But I don't know. I'm looking at it, and I'm saying, you know, we holding out for that, Mr. Producer. But I look at the situation now, though, Pearly, and Rich Eisen commented yesterday, and a lot of people in the sports world, you know, commented. It's a wide open scenario now.
It is
in the NBA playoffs.
It is. The only team, like I said, that I could see could probably right now make it to the finals, like taking in mind everything that's going on, would be Boston. Outside of that,
seems to be the most complete team.
Yeah, right now. I mean, in terms of healthy, complete, everything right now, Boston. All right? I'm telling you, you may not want to hear this. The Lakers beat Memphis in this series. Watch out.
That is some more stars need to line up, Pearly.
I'm telling you, the stars, if they beat Memphis in this series, watch out. It could make a run. It could be a run.
Listen, any way the run goes, it works out for me. Because at the end of the day, they're not winning the championship.
You never know. Probably not.
Boston,
you never know.
if they buck Boston, they get dismantled. If
they buck Boston, they match up well with Boston. That would be a really good series.
Boston,
man for man, they match up well with Boston. That'd be a really good
Boston
series.
seems to put it on them every time they play them for the last couple of seasons.
That's all right. This is the playoffs. This is the championship. That's a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah, you selling
but
that
it won't
fish right
come to
now.
that. We won't have this discussion because it will not come to that. We know that.
It ain't happening. But like I said, for those who want to get, but we'll see though. So we'll see how Ja looks about making a return. We'll see how Giannis looks, and we'll see how the Suns rebound. Because I think the Suns just got their nerve took from them. That's what I think.
But you know something? It's something but the Suns, to me. I mean, I look at KD the way I look at LeBron. Basketball prostitutes, junglist gals, traveling everywhere.
Learn bobbits. Let me use that old word. Bobbits. Basketball bobbits.
But some of
and just let me interject, the fans that follow LeBron to and fro like the mice behind the Pied Piper, you all is basketball brunsexual bobbits.
But we know that.
But I just wanted to get that in. You're still my friends, though.
Something
but
about
I
the
just want
Suns
to let you
team
know who
doesn't
you
look
are.
complete to me. They don't look complete to me. Something not complete about them.
I think the chemistry is off from the trade. And I think they traded way too much defense in that trade to bring in KD.
Mind you, it'll be a pretty good team probably next year if they keep it together.
If they do keep
But
it
not
together,
right now.
it will be a decent squad. Wow.
All right. That's just my view. I could be wrong.
Naughty looks like Buddy here left the Kings too soon. Boy, but that wasn't his doing. They traded him.
We say that, right? Oh, look, right. Listen, Trey Turner going to regret leaving the Dodgers this year. We know that. Things like that happen. Judge can be happy he signed his contract when he stayed with the Yankees. Things like that happen.
Boy, this text, Naughty. Listen, I don't know how Pearly liked Minnesota so much. Minnesota is a racist place. Now, listen, I'll go on record and say, when I went to the Super Bowl as part of Bud Light's contingency in 2018 as the brand ambassador, and I watched the Eagles beat the Patriots, up until that point, I mean, no way, shape, or form did I feel any racist vibe. I came back saying that's the coolest set of Caucasian Americans I met in all of my comedy travels and in my career. And then the whole George Floyd situation came and made me see a whole different perspective.
Understand, Minnesota is not Minnesota. They try to say I experienced some racism with some people from Minnesota. In Minnesota, particularly the one particular person I remember was from Wisconsin. But a lot of them people, they grow up in lily white boy country, we call it, but they never met a black person until they may have met them in college. A lot of them would have sit in Minnesota and never see a black person in real life in their entire life. It's more ignorance as opposed to bigotry. It's not, because you got to take it now. Minnesota is the state that took in a bunch of Somalians, like thousands of Somalian refugees in the 90s, in the early 2000s.
There you
There's
go,
a huge Somalian community in Minnesota.
And don't forget, Minnesota got a lot of German, immigrants that came in early on.
It's serious Lutheran and Catholics, and it's German descent.
There you go.
German, that's the main descent is German descent. But it's a really cool place. They appreciate the four seasons of the year. They appreciate winter, spring, summer, and fall. They do things. They show you they appreciate it. That's the one state, and I've been to a bunch of states, not all 52, but I've been to more than 25. That's the one state that I've seen more interracial marriages or relationships than any other state.
That's true there too. That's true. That's very true. Can't lie about that.
Shoot, I dated white girls all my entire college career.
Listen, man, Prince came from Minnesota. That's all I care about. Okay.
Yes, Prince is from Minnesota.
Hey, Mr. Producer, get me Little Red Corvette to take us home today, damn it.
Yes, that'll be nice.
Little Red Corvette for Prince in Minnesota to take us home today, please.
You know that Prince house was purple and white, right?
Yeah, man.
And Prince had a park across the street from his house.
Listen.
And every so often, Prince would just go over there and jam.
Listen.
Just start playing music and have free concerts.
Remind me to tell you the Prince joke off air about purple and white, okay?
Okay.
And that has nothing to do with this house, but it's cold and I can't say it on air.
I got you. I got you.
Naughty Pearly, Draymond Green is an idiot. He's a complete, as we say in the Bahamas, he's a whole, we get you. Green should be kicked out of the league.
But guess what? It works for him, and he got 4 titles.
Yeah, and he puts butts in the seat. People come and look for him and put butts in the seat. So that's something that you always got to take into consideration with Draymond. He's one of them dudes who can put butts in the seat. And that's all.
People coming to see him play, or people coming to see him get his head bashed in, one or the other, but they coming to see him.
And he's unlikely to be suspended. This coming 42 minutes ago via Bleacher Report. All right, so here's a couple of things that you might want to take note on. This is a very good feel-good story. This out of New York, out of Buffalo, New York. The Bills, DeMar Hamlin cleared to resume all activities after cardiac arrest in January. And
wonderful.
It's been announced Buffalo Bills safety DeMar Hamlin has been cleared to resume all football activities. After receiving medical clearance from 3 different specialists. General Manager Brandon Beane told reporters Tuesday. So
I watched his press conference. I watched a little bit of his press conference today. Yeah.
And he says his heart is still in the game and he wants to play.
Yeah, he's happy. He's at the best medical team. People around him, they treat him, like they would treat their own son. So he's very grateful to God and grateful for all the teams that brought him back. So that's wonderful. That's a feel-good story.
All right. So I'm looking forward to seeing him back on the field. And here's something we got to talk to our Steeler brother about, Obi Roberts, because here's a hot rumor swirling. Allen Robinson to be traded to the Steelers from the Rams pending a physical. Now, that might be a good acquisition for the Steelers.
Wow.
Got it. They traded Claypool. I think your boy George Pickens going to absolutely blow up next year.
Probably so.
I think he's going to be the clear-cut number 1. But Robinson could come in as a number 2 or number 3 and play the slot decent for them as well. I think they still got Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Now, Texter, you said the Steelers need a good QB. I think they got their QB in Kenny Pickett. I think they got the second coming to Terry Bradshaw and Kenny Pickett. Just got to let it play out. I think with a whole offseason and a whole preseason under him this year, Pickett should be all right.
I think he's going to turn out to be a pretty good player.
I think so too, when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Now,
we'll beat up on him a little bit.
Here's another tidbit before we get out of here, Purdy, because we got to get out of here. We got to get to the break because, Rich taking us home with the final 10. But this just breaking. Apparently, Shaq has finally been served an FTX lawsuit after hiding out for 5 months. The lawyer said he was incognito for 5 months. I was like, boy, he must have called some of his Bahamian friends to get some advice on how to hide out for 5 months. Shaq
O'Neal?
Yeah, so FTX tentacles have reached even further and now slapped up Shaq.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just got on there last night.
Yeah, that don't mean nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
They must have tracked him down. He got ways to avoid people. They must have really hung out to serve him, like you've been served. You know what I mean? Pop up out of Charles Barkley jacket on a break. You've been served.
Yeah.
If I know Charles probably served him on a break. You know how Charles go. Charles don't kill.
You don't give a hoot.
You got a ring and I don't got a ring. I'm from Mobile, Alabama, and I made a career off chasing that stupid old ball up and down the court. I listen to Charles talk all day. Charles has just got some of the best stories ever.
Yeah, he does.
But anyhow, let's have a quick gander, Pearly. Let's look at the NBA tonight. We'll do NBA because we got some games on tap tonight. All right? And the games on tap tonight that jump out, you got the Hawks and the Celtics at 7.
That one you could probably say might get sweet.
I like the Celtics to win that one. The Knicks and the Cavaliers. I like the Cavaliers to bounce back in this one and tie this one up because I think this one going 7.
This one going 7, but I think the people overestimating the Knicks. This will beat them 4-1.
If the Knicks beat them tonight, but if they don't, I think it could go long. And I'm thinking, our old boy over there in Cleveland who put up 38 the other night, I think he comes back, and I think Mitchell comes back and pumps in a bunch tonight. He puts them on his shoulders tonight. So. Clippers and the Suns, you know what? I like the great underdog story. I never had an issue with Westbrook. I think he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, not by his choice. You know what? I think the Clippers go up 2-0. I think they got more moxie and more bravado than the Suns.
No, I think Chris Paul can put his playoff mode together, and they're going to take this and they can bounce back tonight.
Well, there you go. I like the Celtics, I like the Cavs, and I like the Clippers, man. That's my 3-team parlay. Play it, bet it, set it, and forget it.
The Knicks. Anybody want? If they want to go with my bet, the Celtics, the Knicks, and the Suns.
There you go. Bet it, set it, and forget it with the Island Game, theislandgame.com. Check out the sportsbook and always play responsibly. Purdy, it's been fun. Everybody who chimed in today, I want to thank all my special guests in the first hour. Everybody who chimed in. Good stuff, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Hit the break, and on the flip side of the break, Rich Eisen will be taking you home with the final 10 of the day, and of course, addressing that whole Draymond Green saga. And taking us home today, Purdy for you and all the Minnesota lovers, the late great Prince, man. Little red Corvette. There you go.
There you go.
And don't mind me. Cut the mic off because I'm about to sing and you don't want to scare people like that.
Oh, yeah, please, turn the mic off.
You're the kind of person that believes in making out once, love them and leave them fast. I guess I must be dumb. She had a pocket full of horses. I guess that makes it alright. You see, what have I got to lose? Money, I say,
Red Corvette. You know, I had to get that in before I go. Lord bless the dead. Long live Prince.
you need a love that's gonna last. Guess I should have closed my eyes when you drove me to the place where your horses run free. Felt a little ill.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. Whatever the occasion, John's is confident you will find what you're looking for among our always growing collection of amazing and trendy styles. We cover women, men, children, the whole family. Together with John's great prices and helpful and friendly customer experience in shopping with us will be time well spent. Too busy to come in store? Shop with us online. www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on in today at John's, where we put fashion at your feet.
Original or hot and spicy?
Feeling original? Think twice. Here's some precise advice. Always add the spice.
Hey, that's great. Take your time, brother. I don't want you to run too far out with your spicy self.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, mouth hard, but you still ain't got the right flavor.
Listen, just like the Colonel, I'm an original. You? There's a spicy come lately.
You think so? Original. You could never.
There's no winning flavor. They're all finger-licking good. Only at KFC Nassau.
We're good for you. My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity. It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it. My sales increased, and I can track my earnings. Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today. Call 356-7764.
Play with Island Games. We making dreams come true. Play with Island Games. We paying more out to you. Don't mind the noise in the market. You getting cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is spicy tradition. So when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first. Guaranteed to pay. Island Games. We like them other jokers. We've been here from the start. From the bike to computer. Island Games. We can make your dreams come true. We playing with Island Games.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Draymond Green, as you know, I think is going to the Hall of Fame. And I don't believe the Warriors have as many rings as they like to tell you about, because they have them, without Draymond Green. They might have none of them. But as Brockman has pointed out many times on this show, and I'm sure would be happy to do so again, they could have more if it wasn't for Draymond Green's non-basketball activities during a basketball game. And I remember, I think, were we on the air yet? When LeBron and I think we were on the air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were on the air. Because this has been going on a while. When Draymond hit King James in the crown jewels and got suspended, the Cavs gladly took that as an opportunity to win the final 3 games of their finals. And I just remember Draymond Green, when he suspended, you know where he was? Remember where he was? He was across the street at an A's game with Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Sitting there thinking, I'm not available for my team in such a crucial situation. As a matter of fact, he's owning it. He's wearing it on his sleeve. He's wearing it on his sleeve and owning it in a way that I thought was unhealthy. And now that he's got more gray in his beard, one would think that being unavailable would be worn in a much more statesmanlike manner. Not last night. Domantas Sabonis and him are tangled up, which is one way to say it. Another way to say it, the way that I saw it, the way that Jim Jackson saw it, the way that many others saw it. Sabonis grabs Draymond Green's ankle after the Warriors gain possession. And after Sabonis is not called for throwing Klay Thompson out of the way and onto the ground. And by the way, the momentum of doing that is what put him on the ground. And it sure looks like to me he's grabbing onto Draymond's ankle, and Draymond responds by stomping on him. Flagrant 2, he's ejected. Sabonis gets a flagrant foul. By the way, missed his 2 free throws. But they do get possession.
Well, that's because his lung.
The lung had collapsed to the point where he was playing lights out perimeter defense for the rest of the game. But that's, he's going to still have an MRI today. We'll leave that aside for the moment. Honestly, I mean, he was running around. By the way, if he does have cracked ribs or something or bruised or whatever, man, the way that his lateral movement was protecting the perimeter in the final minutes of that game.
You know how adrenaline works.
Fighting through Kevon Looney's picks. Man, that was impressive. But this was a one-possession game. And Draymond gets ejected, and he's barking at the crowd, and then seemingly happy with the news, at least before I go, at least tell me you're calling it fair enough, where Sabonis also got a flagrant. And then once he seemed satisfied with that news and he had that news delivered to him, he's off the court. And your best ability in sports is your availability, and he's not there. And I would, and you see the rest of the young guys on the bench clapping it up and seemingly, fired up by Draymond's activities. And, what are you going to do it for Draymond? Do it for the stomp? Now, Klay Thompson did say, I write this exact words down. Klay Thompson did say afterwards that, what are you going to do when someone grabs your foot when you're running full speed? I don't know how he was running full speed. It did seem like he was just starting from scratch. I'm not saying what Draymond did was right, but you just can't grab somebody's foot taking off at a full sprint. Steve Kerr said he didn't see it. Steph Curry didn't address it. I will. You can't get thrown out of a playoff game. You just simply can't get thrown out of a playoff game on the road when you're staring an 0-2 hole in the face. And Kevon Looney taking over Draymond's role in this offense and certainly on defense. Totally different team. And despite the rest of the Warriors standing there and clapping it up and seemingly fired up, I would have loved to have had a stenographer giving me the inner monologue inside Steph Curry's head. It seemed like, it's difficult to ascribe it, but I would just have to think that the future Hall of Fame athlete in Steph's head was like, really? We're doing this again? Again. And it seems like to me that he looked deflated by it. Now, he played his ass off. I'm going to talk about tough to guard. Right.
How do you guard this?
You don't. You just put it that way. You get your steps in. Nice. Look at your Apple Watch at the end of the day like, I've traveled 1,000 miles today. What? What? Draymond after the game, he didn't own it. That's what he had to say.
Walk us through what happened there.
My leg got grabbed. Second time in 2 nights. Referees just watch it. I got to land my foot somewhere. And I'm not the most flexible person, so it's not stretching that far.
So you didn't really see where you were stepping. You just kind of.
I can only step so far. I'm pulling my leg away. So it is what it is.
What was the explanation they gave? I know they gave him a technical, then obviously you flagrant too.
The explanation was I stumped too hard.
How hard was that impact? Were you surprised that he was on the ground for that long?
No, I wasn't surprised that he stayed down that long.